Hey, this is your MCU news. My DC/DCEU news is posted before this, or was posted before this. Also, I understand I have a Justice League poster to the side. It's gonna be okay. There's always one person that freaks out about it, so, you know. I just put it there just for you. Yeah, you. Because I just want to hurt you. First, fans are thirsting hardcore over the new Loki TV spot where Tom Hiddleston/Loki is shirtless. Honestly, I really like this TV spot a lot, so you should go watch it. And here's a new Loki poster. Notice the clock. You will see the clock if you watch the new TV spot. Though by the time I publish this video, they'll probably put out a new TV spot. Oh, also I want to bring up that the director for the Loki series said that the Teletubbies inspired it. So it's going to be a straight horror TV series. Lastly, on Loki, a head writer talked about the inspiration for Loki and his evolution in this series, and here's what he said. Loki begins with the Time Variance Authority, an organization tasked with safeguarding the timeline, arresting Loki Variant because they want his help fixing all the timey-wimey problems he created while on the run with the Tesseract. Loki's a character that's always reckoning with his own identity, and the TVA, by virtue of what they do, is uniquely suited to hold up a mirror to Loki and make him really confront who he is, and who he was supposed to be. The TVA is just an entirely new world with a new cast of characters, and that's what felt the most exciting about the show. Building a new corner of the MCU. Oh, as well, he said that they pitched this show as the best show ever, and it's an amazing time adventure. I'm 100% on board for Loki. I think I would rank it Loki, WandaVision, the Falcon and the Captain Soldier so far, but also the What If series is probably going to be super high. Thor 4 will film for a week in New York this summer, so if you're in New York this summer, you may see them filming. We're promised that Captain America 4 will discuss or at least deal with Sam having to work twice as hard to get half as far due to him not having powers and abilities and also his status in the world. The animated What If series, which I just talked about a little bit ago, has been announced to be released in August. They also released some promo photos, which are decent. It's nothing too crazy. It was revealed we were gonna have therapy sessions for Monica in WandaVision, but they decided to cut it, and I think that's a real shame. We could have dealt with a lot more therapy in that show. Not just for Monica. Bob Chapek, who is the CEO of Disney, shared that The Mandalorian being such a success on Disney Plus showed that they don't have to pump out movies into the theater and that they can focus more just on their streaming service, which I absolutely love. I hate movie theaters. I hate going to those germ-infested boxes where you're forced to pay a stupid amount, and if you have to go and pee or, you know, anything else, you're basically fucked. No thank you. If I wanted to go into a dark room with strangers and be miserable, I would just go to a theater, which I don't want to do. And to the person that continuously freaks out on me about that opinion, yes, I do enjoy being able to piss whenever I want and pausing to pet my kittens. Get fucked! Mads Mikkelsen is apparently the most in-demand actor right now. Like, seriously, look at all the projects he's in, and it's being reported that he will be in Doctor Strange too. Emily Blunt said no. Her and her husband have not been contacted to play Mr. Fantastic or the Invisible Woman, and so far that's just fan casting. Next, we were given insight to why Isaiah didn't salute his statue in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So here is how it was explained. There was some discussion about whether or not to have him salute the statue, and we were like, nope. He appreciates what Sam did for him, but he ain't never letting go of what they, the United States, did to him. So he hugged him. That's why it was a hug and not a salute. Yeah, you don't get to screw someone over their entire life and then turn around and finally acknowledge them and expect them to be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. All those decades of crippling depression and anxiety and losing years of my life and being experimented on, I forgive you now because you gave me a statue. Anthony Mackie wants to be in the MCU for the next 2 decades, and he said if he could be 65 and still playing Sam, that would be the life. Anthony Mackie also talked about Black Panther 2, how he absolutely loves the title, and also he has a passport to Wakanda. So he shared, it's dope. I feel like continuing that legacy is very important. There are a bunch of amazing actors and actresses under that Black Panther mantle who are now going to come together, and that legacy will live on. So I'm really excited that they're showing that it's not specifically about Black Panther, but it's about Wakanda. I do have a Wakanda visit, so I can go to Wakanda as much as I want. I have a passport and a Wakanda visa, and I'm vaccinated, so I can go to Wakanda. It's strange now though because of the amount of respect and admiration I have for Chad, having known him for so long. You just want to do everything the right way. I don't know what that answer is. I don't know what that right thing is. I just want to make sure that it's done right for him. And if you want even more heartbreak, go check out all the volunteer work that Chadwick did while he was dying of cancer, and how he just told no one and he just kept trucking along. Inspirational as fuck. Martin Freeman spoke on Black Panther 2 and the script and how it is very, very shocking. So he shared his interaction with the director, Ryan Coogler, and how he just thinks the script is off the walls. I had a Zoom call with Ryan Coogler, the director and co-writer, about 7 or 8 weeks ago, I suppose. He sort of meticulously took me through all my characters' beats in the film. He took me through the film, but incorporating my character's beats, and some of it was really very odd. And I think he could see from the reaction on my face to some of the things he was saying, my face must have been going, he did a shocking face, like that, because he kept sort of stopping and he kept going, stay with me, but this is going to work. People are in for, I think, a real treat. I mean, we've not done it yet. Who knows? We might make it awful. But I'm hoping we won't. I'm hoping people are going to be in for a treat. Obviously, the hope is we do the first film justice, and we do Chadwick's legacy on it justice, and make hopefully another good film. Things are gonna get weird in Black Panther 2. Especially since there's rumors that some European countries, I realize there's a lot of them, are going to get super pissy with Wakanda. Anthony Mackie, yeah, I'm talking about him again, sorry, has continued his feud with Tom Holland, this time telling him, quote, "Thank you, Tom Holland. I'm on your ass, boy. I'm on your ass." He also posted a video a few weeks back, it might be a month or two at this point, where he showed himself flying as the Falcon and being like, this is how I'm gonna roll up to Tom Holland's house. There's just something so delightful about Mackie, a 42-year-old man, bullying Tom Holland, a 24-year-old. It just delights my soul. Speaking of Tom Holland, here's some photos of Peter Parker and Ned hanging out in Spider-Man 3, a movie where we're definitely not dealing with the multiverse, and we definitely don't have Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire reprising their roles as Spider-Man. Elizabeth Olsen talked about playing Wanda again in Doctor Strange 2 and said, yeah, everything that she was dealing with in WandaVision carries right into Doctor Strange 2, and she's still dealing with a lot of trauma. And she's trying to get her kids back, so I'm sure Doctor Strange is gonna be like, hey, Darkhold, no. And she's gonna go, trying to get my kids back. So Agatha Harkness's actress, Catherine, talked about how she had no idea who Mephisto was, but she loved all our fan theories. So here's a fun little story she shared. Yes, I knew there were a lot of theories leading up to the show. I mean, the noise, that was kind of one of the most fun things for me not being on social media, was to hear from friends how much noise was happening while the show was going on. I remember hearing that I was there as a puppet for Mephisto. That was a theory that I heard, and I had to immediately say, who is Mephisto? Don't hold that against me. Now I know who Mephisto is. The volume will be used for Ant-Man 2, and the photo they posted for it is just so gorgeous. There's new TV spots for The Black Widow, and honestly, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. Just release the movie already, please God. Jordan Blum, showrunner of MODOK, shared that his show unfortunately isn't in the main MCU verse or timeline. I would love that. That's fun. Pat and I wrote a comic called MODOK, Head Games, which addresses that a little. Our show was given its own numbered reality. We are Earth 1226, which is my son's birthday. We are canonically part of the Marvel multiverse, and it's up to them if they want to bridge us or not. They don't tell me shit. No way, are you kidding? I can barely keep secrets from my own show. I watch as a fan. When people are like, MODOK may show up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm like, I hope. I was a fan first, and I will be a fan until the day I die. This was never work for me. On Patton Oswalt's end, who voices MODOK, he shared that not only does he want to be in the main MCU verse, but he also wants to play a live-action version of the character. So he shared, especially with the stuff that they're doing now with animation and combining animation and live action, it just gets better and better every movie. The idea of creating this thing, doing it live action with, either taking someone's face and changing it or just, I absolutely think it could work. And it would be even more amazing if you do a combination of animation and practical. Like build the suit, build the chair, and have that be part of it so that there's the feeling of solidity. There, I think would be amazing. Are you kidding me? That'd be freaking awesome if we played MODOK live action. Oh my god, I would love it. Plus, it's an acting job where I get to sit down the whole time. Are you kidding me? I'd love that. On a similar note, there was talks of the Venom movies being in the same verse as the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, and we sorta got an answer on that didn't really clear anything up. Obviously, there are links between Venom and Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe and the Spider-Man story, but in this, we're treating this very much as his own world. The Venom story is in his own world. There are nods and little moments that just like this newspaper, Daily Bugle of course, but on the whole, he's unaware. They're unaware at this point of other characters like Spider-Man. So that's the way we've chosen to play this particular episode of the movie. But, well, we'll wait and see. We'll see what little things you can pick out of it. So basically, it will be connected as soon as it is financially convenient. Dave Bautista shared a lot about Drax and even dragged Disney a tiny bit. There's a lot that he said. Dave's a bit of a talker, so brace yourself for this part of the video because it's going to be quite a few minutes of Dave talking. Well, me reading what he said. Okay, so first, here's what he said on Drax and Disney dropping the ball for his character. The role changed the trajectory of my life. It's always going to be special to me. Now that I'm 4 films in, I really wish they would have invested more in Drax personally, because I think Drax has more of a story to tell. I think Drax has a really interesting backstory, which they dropped the ball on. That's no dig at Marvel. They had their slate. I know what they're focused on, and that's what they have slated out. But man, I think they really missed the ball on Drax. He has such a great backstory. Selfishly, as a performer, that would have given me the opportunity to show different sides of Drax, emotionally and physically as well. Because if you notice Drax, although he looks like a badass, you look at him and he looks terrifying. But Drax gets his ass kicked more than any other Marvel character. The whole destroyer thing, they just threw that out the window. People just fell so in love with the comedic side of Drax, they tapped into that. Then they tapped into it more. Then they really dug a hole into it. But we missed a huge boat on that character, and I don't think it'll ever come back around. But I'm really just looking forward to finishing out this whole journey. That's a full journey. We started together, not a lot of people, unless you were seriously into comics, even knew who the Guardians were. People were speculating, oh, a professional wrestler is playing Drax. Is this going to be the first Marvel movie to flop? It was a lot of that out until the film came out and people fell in love with it. These are not my words. I don't want to get beaten up for this, but I've heard people say this is like the new Star Wars. People are going to look back on Guardians as the way our generation looks back on Star Wars. Someone saying that, like that's a bold statement. That hits me. It's yet to be seen, but if I can have somebody feeling that way about Guardians the way I feel and look back on Star Wars, that's a life worth living. That's a legacy, man. I'm feeling really excited to wrap up this whole journey with these guys. I love them. I love the Guardians cast like family. They know it. I think everybody knows that I'm pretty vocal about it. I don't know if I'd put Guardians in the same league as Star Wars, even in the tiniest bit, but I mean, I think that's great that people love Guardians so much. I love Guardians quite a bit. And yeah, the MCU has slid a lot more towards humor than serious drama, but that's just how you get more people in the seats, basically. Next, he was asked if he was in Thor 4, and he admitted that he doesn't want to confirm it because he doesn't want to piss Disney off, which is a very smart move. The mouse can make you disappear for any reason. This was another long quote, I'm sorry. So here's what he said. Well, assuming that I went to Australia to shoot for Thor 4, I know that Chris Pratt has announced that he's in Thor 4, but I haven't heard from anybody at Marvel or Disney where it would be okay for me to say that I was in Thor 4, so I will neither confirm nor deny. But having said that, I've worked with Taika before, and I know his process. Taika's process is whatever's written on the page, there's going to be a dozen more opportunities for you to shine because he's an improvisational type actor and he's an improvisational type director. So yes, if you have an opportunity to work with Taika Waititi, don't even be concerned about how small the role is, because if you get there and start killing it, he's going to make you a bigger part of the film. Did that answer your question in a roundabout way? Yeah, it's one of those things where I kind of dance around it because I don't want to piss off anybody at Marvel. I don't want to piss anybody at Disney off. And as far as I know, I guess they gave Pratt a go-ahead to announce that he was in the film. But I haven't heard anything about it, and as far as I've heard, they said it's not okay to confirm that you're in the film. But obviously when all the Guardians are on a Disney jet going to Australia, and they photograph us walking into the hotel, there are photographs of everybody except for me on set. So because there were no photographs of me as Drax on set, I've not come out and said, yeah, I'm in Thor 4. So definitely maybe he's in Thor, or maybe not. He's in Thor 4, come on. By the way, Dave is also super overplaying Drax, and I'm going to give you this quote, which isn't going to be as long. I think it's like 30 or 40-second quote, so we're almost there. I'm sorry. I'm in a weird place with Drax because I've played Drax so many times, I'm on cruise control. I love the character, but getting in the makeup, it's just a nightmare. I couldn't explain how awful it is. I hate to sound like one of those high-maintenance actors, but it's just traumatizing. Once I'm in and I'm on set with my friends and making this character come to life and interacting with these characters that I love so much as a fan, it's all fun and joy. Throughout the years, maybe because I've gotten older and more sensitive to it, the makeup's become more unbearable. But the one thing I'm looking forward to is closing out this journey of Drax. He actually said about a month or so ago that the makeup is the reason why he would never do a Disney Plus TV show as Drax, just because it would be an absolute nightmare and just isn't worth it to him. I think also James Gunn being done with Guardians of the Galaxy after Volume 3 has a bit to play into it too, where Dave seems very loyal to James Gunn, and without him directing, he doesn't really want to be involved anymore. Okay, that was your MCU news. I'm sorry I was so heavy on Dave talking about Drax. Like, subscribe, come back for more videos.